Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're talking about something you would never imagine, which is the cryptocurrencies that you probably should be paying attention to. I know it's a total shocker here. We're going to be talking about good coins that matter and talking about why they're better than other coins that don't matter. I know. This is going to be a huge surprise to the audience today. We're making a departure from what we do every single other day. That's right. O'Doyle rules. If you know that reference, then you are probably old like me. I hope you guys are having a great day. We're definitely going to be waiting for a second here for people to get up in the mix, to get up in the stream, obviously, but then we're going to be launching into this. Obviously, if you guys are excited, do me a favor and destroy that like button, smash it, smooch it, kiss it, hug it, whatever you want to do. Just make sure that you turn that little thumb blue. I really appreciate it. I see we get some dislikes in here, maybe because I was late, but it'll be worth it. Today, I think, is going to be really valuable content because we're seeing what's playing out in real time, which is effectively a lot of coins ain't doing nothing. And some coins are making astronomical gains to the tune of literally 40x since we started covering them. We're going to be breaking down exactly why this is happening and helping essentially the people who might be new around here, who might not understand why these things do happen, trying to fill in those gaps. We also have a little bit of drama here in crypto land. I see the chat is absolutely rolling right now. So I definitely want to spend some time, respond to some of these messages. A big shout out to everybody, almost 2,000 people in here. If we could all hit that like button, we can get started. I see a super chat coming in saying, check your email, sent you a few questions. All righty, G Viking, I'll do that. I'm bringing on some more support. Really, the goal of the next few phases is to have more interaction with you guys. Again, I'm extremely busy because I have over 100 employees. However, I do really value interacting with the community. I want to make sure that you guys can really understand some of these lessons that I'm trying to teach here so you guys can get inside my head a little better. The reality is, though, I just simply don't have time to respond to everybody. So I hope you guys don't take that personally. Again, we're going to be opening up some really direct communication to me through my NFT set, LEO Trades NFTs. Some really exciting things coming there. But to be honest, first things first, everything over these next few months will be from a builder's perspective about Neo Tokyo and SuperFarm. The LEO trade stuff is going to be coming very soon. The Discord's coming soon. You can interact with me directly, especially at the higher rarities. But the reality is that I'm not going to be launching a product for LEO trades until things get a little further along. But there is stuff coming, and it's really sick. Shout out to everybody who's just sending super chats with kind words, not trying to get me to shill random projects. I see a bunch of people spamming certain tickers. Again, guys, just because you spam a ticker here doesn't mean I'm going to cover it. There is some projects that we do get mentioned here, like Dissenter. I do enjoy Dissenter. I will probably be following up on that in the future. All right, everyone, it's time. It's time. There are 3,000 of you guys in here, only 1.3K likes. What's going on? We need to fix this. And we're going to start off really quickly with a little bit of drama before we get into the coins of the day. We're going to talk a little bit about drama because drama is fun. It's good for you. And we have a ton of it right now coming from Suzu. Now, Suzu is essentially the most prolific, maybe the most prolific investor right now in the space. Thank you, baby. Little iced coffee to get through the stream. Smash like for the iced coffee. Somebody says here to shill SuperFarm Genesis series. Keep up the good work. Now, of course, if you guys are holding SuperFarm Genesis, and I want to make it clear, the SuperFarm Genesis was originally released as 5 characters. There have been a couple more pieces that, because of the way OpenSea displays collections, they've been lumped in with SuperFarm Genesis. They are SuperFarm NFTs, but they're not Genesis NFTs. So we released an updated article on the SuperFarm Twitter a couple of days ago, helping you guys understand which NFTs have which utilities. So make sure that if you want to get a SuperFarm Genesis NFT, that you understand the utility that you're buying it for, and make sure that you're buying it for the reason, if you understand it. Now, that said, obviously SuperFarm NFTs are getting priority into the high rise app drop. And that, I think, is the most blue chip NFT digital world drop we've seen. Now, I did want to update, there is a slight delay due to the overwhelming demand and the newness of some of these features that we're using on Immutable X. We're going to be kicking in the tires, delaying until next Monday, not tomorrow, for the drop. So if you missed it, make sure you're prepared and bridged over. We're going to be doing some bridging tutorials throughout this week to help you guys get ready for that Immutable X drop. I think it's going to be one of the most important drops that we've seen this fall. Definitely packed with utility. How soon until Imposters? Very soon. Being in the meetings over the last few weeks has been extremely, extremely exciting. Extremely exciting. So yeah, all I can say is is Sidus still being slept on? I don't think so. I mean, Sidus isn't even out yet. How can it be slept on if it's not even out yet? So yeah, I don't think so. I think Sidus is, by the way, I'm going to be investing in, and I think I have a little bit of advisory tokens as well in Sidus. So that's my connection with that project. Full disclosure, I'm biased, I'm invested, I'm advising. I really like their approach. But into this right now, if you guys are excited for a little bit of ETH drama, a little bit of crypto Illuminati drama here, which I think is a really important topic, because this is a topic that, depending on where you sit on it, depending on how you can conceptualize it, this can help lead you either into the most amazing opportunities, or it can really stop you from getting into the best possible coins. So we have like a bunch of tweets here, like 1,000 tweets. If you, I don't know if you guys are seeing how many little Twitter icons are here. I'll probably accidentally close a few because they're so small. But anyway, let's dive in here. Okay. So Suzu owns Three Arrows Capital. They have a derivatives trading platform called Deribit. He's like a multi-giga billionaire and has seeded things like Avalanche. He's literally behind some of the biggest projects in the space. He's been a big DeFi builder, and he's really solidified his reputation as just like an absolute legend over the last few, like really 18 months here. The point here is that he said this thing that really set the interwebs ablaze. He says, "Yes, I have abandoned Ethereum despite supporting it in the past." I should do like a character voice so you guys don't think this is me. Yes, Ethereum has abandoned its users despite supporting them in the past. The idea of sitting around and watching the burn and concocting purity tests while zero newcomers can come afford the chain is gross. Okay, so here's the biggest thing here. And he talks about here how the Ethereum culture suffers from the founder's dilemma. He talks about how everyone's too rich to understand what the normal person is going through. Now, we all know on this channel that the Ethereum chain is just way too expensive. That said, me as a founder, as I'm deploying video games, it's a little bit crazy because like the assets on Ethereum NFT wise are the highest valued, have the most liquidity, the most users, the most buyers. But at the same time, there's no way you can actually have a game ecosystem, and you can't have like normie users. So you can have this amazing seed where the liquidity can just explode and tokens can get to like multi-billion-dollar valuations overnight. You're seeing a little bit of that on BSC, even though the sort of winds different. The winds come and go with BSC. The point is, the question is Ethereum, has it abandoned its users? Now, a lot of people in the chat, I mean, what do we have, like 4,000 people watching this right now, 5,000. If you guys are enjoying this real thread on Ethereum, then smash the like button, because you all probably know that using Ethereum just doesn't make sense, right? Nobody's going to spend, a week's pay on a transaction fee. It's ridiculous. Now, that said, there is the promise that ETH can scale and that ETH L2 is the future. But I think this is a necessary conversation. You see here this whole thing around whether or not Sue is committing sort of treason here. But the reality is that I think that getting dogmatic about projects, getting stuck into a headspace where you're not able to favor innovation, to me is just silly, right? So the question is not whether or not Ethereum is the only chain. Of course, there's going to be more chains. The question is, what are the good chains? Because there's a lot of cheaper, faster, better. And at a certain point, if you just want cheap and fast, then you could just use AWS. You could just use like Google Cloud, right? If you want cheap and fast. But the whole point here is immutable, decentralized, uncensorable. And you can't get that stuff unless you're actually going to a realistic chain. And that's why Avalanche has attracted a lot of excitement, because people think it has a chance to satisfy a lot of the dilemmas around decentralization, around consensus. Even Ethereum's founder Vitalik said he liked Avalanche's design. He found it very interesting. I'm going to go ahead and just get in here and stop some of these spam messages. I don't know why people keep spamming this. I'm guessing it's some new bot project out here. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and try to stop these daddy Ethereum and MCC shills. Just ignore them, please. Thank you. All right. Okay, so back to this. So anyway, so we have this explode, and then we get all these really interesting conversations around Ethereum, which I think are relevant. He does come back and says he wants to soften this and says that it was the heat of the moment and that there are great teams working on ETH L2, but he would have preferred to see an ETH 1x roadmap, essentially saying, look, until we get ETH 2, like, what are we going to do to make this usability better? I get this whole tweet storm and he's under a lot of fire, but the biggest question is, you know, it's okay. I have this in here because a lot of people in this time of year are going to become the Missoooooor, which is essentially someone who just misses everything. And this just sort of reiterates that as much as you need to do great research, the reality of crypto is that it moves fast and that at a certain level, you know, every time you get into a project, there will be an element of unknown. You're just not going to know everything. So if you guys have been the Missoooooor in the past, or you feel like you're the Missoooooor right now, looking at some coins going 40x and you're like, well, what the heck? I'm not in that coin. It's okay. You're not alone. It is a meme. It is a common trend. And you'll learn better when you reach that point at which you have enough information, knowing you don't know everything, but knowing that the risk is worth the apage into the coin, and you will stop being the Missoooooor. So smash like if you're excited for that. I also thought this was interesting. I look, as you can tell, these tweets are way out of order. But how cool would this be if you could just right click and buy everything as an NFT on the internet? I think this is coming. Again, just shows you how early we are. We also have Avax coming in with a ton of stuff. But as you can see, I'm way out of order. Okay, finally back on this ETH drama. We're not impressed with this, says Autism Capital. Again, I don't condone the use of this name. After relentlessly shilling the super cycle and the case for Ethereum and the case for Solana, and now apparently the case for Avalanche, you have demonstrated a clear lack of both conviction and integrity. No, I don't know if I agree with this. In fact, I disagree with this, that you can make the case for something and then it has to be either or. I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna quote Gary Vee here. Everyone is or, but it's and, it's not or. Crypto is and, it's not or. The success of Solana has made it so Avalanche will have less barriers. The success of BSC has made it so Solana has less barriers mentally to being a huge competitor as a chain. The success of each one of these chains creates a world in which people are more open-minded, chain agnostic, and that all of these things can succeed. Now, what really sucks for the industry, let me tell you what super sucks. What sucks to suck is if everyone comes into crypto and nothing works. Right? Doesn't that suck? You have everybody of millions and bajillions of people pouring into crypto for all of its amazing potential, and they can't afford a transaction fee. That would suck. You literally priced out of even hitting, like, using the tech, literally. So that's what would really suck. All of these have, in my opinion, a case to be made for them. Now, the case for Ethereum is a global settlement layer that is trusted across every asset class and really important things that can't be corrupted. Now, the case for Solana is we need something extremely fast for like games, and we want it on L1. The case for Avalanche is that we want this very unique consensus that's maybe like a hybrid between a Solana use case and an Ethereum. They all have use cases, and in my opinion, to claim that it's, you know, a lack of integrity here, I think is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You can have integrity and believe in multiple chains, in all the chains all at once. Now, I do believe that none of this takes away, to be clear, none of this takes away from the fact that Ethereum is like the S&P 500, but way better, right? To me, I see it as like investing into an index fund for the future. So to me, ETH is amazing. There's nothing I want to take away from it. But that also doesn't mean that Solana and Avax can't be the darlings of more aggressive sort of low fee use cases for crypto. So I just want you guys to see, I think there's a lot of interesting arguments being brought out here, and I want to sort of analyze them piece by piece. And people are saying, hey, look, if you can't afford Ethereum fees, here are all these scaling solutions where you can afford fees. Again, look, there's definitely low fee environments, but none of them are really protected in the same way as Ethereum from security. If you really want to get into it, these are not Ethereum. These are not Ethereum, right? These are side chains. These are L2s. And it's really awesome to see this growth, but it is not the effective end all be all here. So I just wanted to kind of like, you know, weigh in here, which is that L2 is not L1. There's a lot of reasons to have a case for Solana, a case for Avax. They're also absolutely not Ethereum yet, and Ethereum will not cease to be Ethereum. And when it scales, it'll be very, very interesting to see what happens. So all people, I know this is going to sound crazy, but everybody's right and everybody's wrong at the same time here. I hope you guys can appreciate that. And just essentially making things faster doesn't equal scalability. That's the point of this tweet. So I just wanted to get through this. This is getting a little boring though. I'm getting bored with this. This is just way too much. So I'm going to switch over to another topic here. Where is it? Let me make sure. Yes, I like this take. Just to sum this up, in a nutshell, demand for cryptocurrency has greatly outpaced the technology given the macro climate, meaning way more people want to use crypto than we can support on Ethereum, on Bitcoin, on whatever the main chains are. So block space is filling up, fees are going up, everything's going up. There's just too much. There's not enough room in this space for all the people. And that's good. That leads to wild overpricing and will lead eventually and stimulate the economic forces we need to scale. So it's really good. Again, we're just rehashing. So, okay, now this is a nice transition, right? This is a nice transition into what we're going to be talking about for the rest of the episode, which is the people holding the right coins. The people holding coins right now are getting so freaking rich. And those holders are being put in a position to really help govern the next generation of technology. In my opinion, the people who play their cards right, you don't have to be a day one Bitcoiner. The people who play your cards right over the next few years, not months, but years, will do incredibly well. Now, warning, all altcoins can go down 80, 90%. That doesn't mean they're bad. That just means that crypto is really volatile. Now, when you should buy them, ideally, is after they crash 80, 90%. But if you can't do that, you should play the cycles. In my opinion, we're looking at more bullishness in the cycles, and we could experience a huge nuke that we still recover from. Much like May, we could have another May in the future in January, recover, and then make a new high in June, right? It's all possible. Remember, the market just wants to upset a bunch of people. But the reality is that we're seeing real innovation start to have ridiculously real world impacts, like Axie Infinity scholars now being used as incentive to take training courses in Venezuela, right? Wrap your head around this. You have government-sponsored scholarships being given to people to play a video game to play to earn, right? So talking about economic opportunities being opened up to the world, you guys haven't even scratched the surface yet of what this could look like. And the importance of what this is doing, not just in a gaming specific lens, but in a human specific lens, is one of the most important aspects of this. You're taking the game creator and you're removing them in many ways, and you're letting the economy flow to the edges. It is a massive, massive change to our society. And as we look to go into the metaverse, into meta, into whatever you're going to call it, the reality is it's indisputable. It is so obvious where this is headed. The current video games industry makes about $100 billion a year. Like I said, that's going to 100x in the next sort of 5 to 7 years. So I'm looking at a $10 trillion ecosystem, not market cap, but $10 trillion in annual activity and money flow within that ecosystem. And I think that's going to come like within the next 7 years. So maybe like a cycle and a half from now. So whatever you're looking at right now is like, think about these DeFi projects. Think about DeFi in 2015 or something like that, right? Think about it like that, because that's what we're looking at. Is we're looking at the amount of growth that's going to happen over the next few years. And things like this just make me even more bullish, right? So what's going to benefit from these changes in society? The game ecosystems themselves, like we've seen with AXS, and those governance tokens that govern over the games themselves. And then on top of that, what we're going to see is the underlying chains that support them, whether that's Ethereum, whether that's Avalanche, whether that's Solana, whether that's Cardano, Polkadot, whatever those chains might be, they're going to be the beneficiaries of this movement, right? So you have the chain ecosystem approach, which is, in my opinion, the easiest way to invest in this whole industry, because look at Avalanche. We're going to talk about Avalanche, believe me. And by the way, who brought you guys Avalanche before it became a hot topic around all the YouTubers? We brought you the Avalanche wave very early. I think we were the first mainstream channel here to cover Avalanche like we did before this wave. And so just know, we're not going to stop putting you guys and this audience in a position to win the biggest. That's what I care about. That's why I do these new projects, these new opportunities, because it translates to the biggest wins. I don't always call things, because when I call things, I like them to go and stick with them over a long period of time. So you need to be subscribed with that bell notification on if you want to get my calls earliest. Otherwise, you're going to miss them, period. Okay, so this is a very interesting change. If you guys aren't tracking the importance of this change on like a human level globally, you're just missing probably the biggest story of the 2020s. It's that simple. I'd say it's not an overstated statement I just made. That is exactly what it is. It's the biggest human change of the 2020s, right? This is going to be the biggest change to crypto, and crypto is going to be the biggest change to the internet. It's pretty simple. Okay. I'm jumping over all the ETH drama. I'm just done with that. Okay. So why is this so big? We have Nike here now pushing deep into the metaverse, right? The Nikeverse, right, is going to be a massive, massive on-ramp as people will start collecting digital flexes in here. They will move on to the cooler stuff, to the other stuff. But just so you know, like this is creating not thousands, not millions, but this will create billions of users, right? We have Disney, Nike, Facebook. I lost track. Everyone's creating metaverse products. So everyone is being brought into this. Now, what's going to have the ultimate clout? Those early drops, those early releases by those metaverses. And the reality is the real clout, the real stuff is the stuff that's already out there in the market. The projects that are already elite NFTs are going to be made ultra elite from this. So understand, with gaming comes item economies. Learning to understand those is key to your success. Hint, hint, the people who understood that Wolf game, which has just awesome sort of tokenomics to it. I'm not playing Wolf game yet, but the people are absolutely crushing it. So let's talk about why the tokens are crushing it, and why I was able to look into these and predict them, and what are the skills that you guys can use to get ahead of these next tokens, and why do I have so much confidence? Why do I have the confidence I have, right? Again, we talked about Rose. It's up 50% on the day, absolutely crushing it. And we just used a very simple mental framework for this, which is rapidly growing TVL. We have, essentially a market cap here that's up now into the hundreds of millions, pushing closer to $1 billion. And it's just a new hot L1, right? L1s are always going to take a lot of mind share, especially as people have become more open to them. Seeing the new ones that are under $1 billion market cap, those are higher risk, again, more likely to dump and have you lose all your money, but also have that chance to go on those massive, gorgeous runs up to tens of billions of dollars, right? That's tens of billions of dollars. That's L1 territory, almost exclusively, right? And so if we look at smart contracts platforms, which is a wise thing to do, we would see here that, let's go to market cap. We have ETH, Sol, ADA, Avax, right? We've already pilled you guys on ETH, Sol, Avax. We've been big on Matic, right? We've been big on Phantom, right? Phantom, I think we started covering at 3 cents here. I know it feels like a year ago. It was a year ago. Then we saw this massive run out of Kadena. I believe it's Kadena is the full name, KDA. And that just paves the way, right? This isn't just a one-off event. Kadena might have great tech, but it's not something that can't be replicated by something like a Rose, by a young project here that's up and coming. And again, we're seeing beyond the L1s, we're seeing ETH L2s also experiencing amazing growth, just like we saw Immutable X. Let me see what IMX is doing today. I know it hit like $10. Yeah, it cooled off a bit, but you see these runs here where if people sniped, remember I told you guys about IMX, people were able to snipe it here at about $3 and it hit almost 9. So almost a 3x there. But again, it's showing you that the gains, the growth from these projects is massive. Go ahead and comment. Tell me, is the video choppy right now? Let me know if the video's getting choppy. Somebody says we're dumping. Yeah, it might be. No, it's fine. Great. Glad the video is fine. Anyway, so like beyond L1s, you have these ETH L2s and they are treated like L1s, right? Because they are becoming the platforms that Ethereans want to use, right? So Immutable X is a good example of that. Another one that's just come on the scene that I actually had the good fortune of investing into is Boba Network. Now, Boba Network, what makes it really interesting is it's essentially the team behind OMG. That is launching this. And what they're doing is they're taking like all the OMG treasury and they're bridging it. And they're doing it in an attempt essentially to take all that liquidity and turn it into TVL. So they're looking to accomplish like $1 billion in TVL really fast through OMG. A really interesting strategy. And so this is one to have on your radar. Again, it's been pumping really hard. We mentioned it slightly the other day, I believe. But just so you guys know, Boba Network. It's the new L2 that maybe is going to have some interesting features here. Again, the L2 race is going to be long. It's going to be political. It's going to be TVL based. It's going to be rewards based. It's very unclear to see who's going to win this. But the best thing to do is just to understand that you should have a bucket set aside for L2s, say X%, maybe 10%, maybe 15% of your portfolio set aside for ETH L2s. Similar for layer ones. Layer ones would be a bigger section of the portfolio for me. Things like Avax, things like Solana, things like Ethereum, and then ETH L2s should be a little chunkier portfolio that you spread around. But check out Boba Network. Again, I'm an investor. My coins are locked for a very long time, so I don't have access to them. But I'm hoping that this one is able to achieve some really interesting growth. So let's talk about Avalanche. Let's talk about Avalanche. Avax, the only green coin over the last few days, as everything else has been hurting. And a lot of people are saying, why? How'd you know, Elio? What led you to believe in the Avax project, and why did you believe in it over these other projects? Well, there's a few reasons. Avax has fantastic tech. I've been talking to a lot of very, very smart people about the consensus layers here in crypto land. And trying to understand which actual tech layers are offering something like a breath of fresh air here. Now, of course, Solana, while many people love Solana, the reality is other people dislike the consensus. I found more people of the big brain friends I talk to like Avax's style of consensus more than Solana. So take that for what you will. That's a lot of hearsay here, a lot of he said, she said. But Avax has a ton of liquidity incentives and just good stimulation for their ecosystem. And there's a lot of reasons to go build on there. So that's why I was very big on Avax. More importantly, I told you guys that the Avax ecosystem would grow and proliferate. So now I'm telling you about, if you look here, there's a coin here that I was trying to lead people to. And that is Crabada. Now, Crabada is the highest gainer over this week. So just know anything that goes up 200% in a week is likely to have some retraces. But why do I like Crabada? Well, let's start for one. Gaming, right? It is a video game. It's on Solana. Here it is. You can see it's like a little baby Axie Infinity. And you can see that they have these crabs that are firing turn-based. It's pretty much, think of it as Axie Infinity because it's an Axie Infinity. It's got nice little graphics here, classic little casual game like you'd see with Axie Infinity, except it's on Avax. So, it's got obviously Axie's on Ronin, but this is the Avax Axie, for lack of a better term. Just think of it. It's very easy. They have some interesting mechanism here. It's not a one-to-one with Axie, but I'll just say that this is a very interesting project that as soon as I saw it, I bought a big old bag of it. I think it was, I guess I don't have to tell you how big it was. Let's not measure, right? But the point is, I'm very interested in Crabada. And so I would say that this one, if you're looking at Avax ecosystem, looking for new games like Crabada, if you feel like you missed this one, again, I'm going to hold on to this one for a while and see if they can build out a nice player base. Because if they can, they might get a nice continuation of this run. Remember, Axie Infinity has pushed to like the 404 era crazy category, what we should expect for games. You have to make your own decisions on this. Any of these could easily dump literally negative 1 million%. So just, you got to make your own decisions here. I'm not going to like literally hold your hand and make click the buttons for you. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in that position. But I do want you guys to know that Crabada looks pretty legit. My browser's being a little slow, so I'm going to close some stuff. Give me a second here. By the way, there are almost 6,000 people in here. It would be super, super cool if you guys all hit the like button because we're dropping some amazing alpha. I almost swore. I almost broke character and used some words of cuss. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it professional. All right. All right. Okay. So Crabada, W, it's in my portfolio. Don't take that for anything other than an inspiration that you should now start researching stuff like this. Ask yourselves, why? Why did I pick Crabada? Why am I so bullish on games? You know why I'm so bullish on games. Don't make me say it. Again, we see UFO just absolutely crushing it. UFO here now up over 4,000. It's over 4,000. I don't know what fraction of a penny it is, but let's just say that if this thing gets to this one, whatever, it'll be, I think, 100x since we called it. I'm definitely interested in seeing it get there. It peaked up here at about 44, 45. Just amazing, right? And that's because they have just fantastic marketing, fantastic community building, and really good tokenomics, right? That's why I liked UFO. It's just a fantastic metaverse gaming project, and it's got the meme. Who doesn't like the meme? Look, once you guys start to understand why certain projects perform, why certain communities grow, take some time. It's a bit of pattern recognition. You'll understand why UFO has gone from 100 here to 40 to 4,000. That's a very important case study for you to understand and internalize. And people who make 40x, right? If by me giving the community of 40x here, by Neo Tokyo giving its community hundreds of thousands of dollars, by literally created by just literally amazing. Like the point here is to enrich this community, right? The more powerful this community becomes, the more it understands that this information is the key to unlocking the next era of internet, that these communities together are the most powerful in this new movement, the more that we can go ahead and take that next step into doing extremely productive things with this community. And so just understand this formation and this strength building is just step one, right? It's just step one. And we're about to see the birth of the SuperFarm ecosystem on this whole new level with immersive AAA gaming, in my opinion, a generation 3 marketplace that is going to be rolling out here for NFTs. And then, of course, combined with the play to earn stuff that's being concocted over at Neo Tokyo, the excitement is just bubbling, right? It's just bubbling. And I believe that this community is going to not only be super powerful because of it, right? And that's why I do the content. I don't just cover my own projects. I don't just cover just related projects. I cover all projects I think have the chance to benefit this community. Because the stronger we get together, the more impactful we can be as we expand the mission and start focusing on that mainstream adoption wave. I believe that this is the most important thing that could happen on the internet, what we're doing right now. So smash like if you guys are happy to be here. I know a lot of people were saying they got into UFO early because of this channel. And so just know, like, this is all part of the plan. This is all steps along the journey to actually having a massive impact, a massive, massive impact on the power systems that have controlled most of us for the last, I don't know, several hundred years at least. This is going to be absolutely monumental, I think. And again, I'm just a participant in it with you. But I believe that the plans that I've created for the next sort of several months to several years, are going to be super impactful, right? I wouldn't be doing this every day on Sundays, every single day of my life, if I didn't believe that there was a true human level, a massive positive that would affect all of you guys. I hope you guys are excited for that. Sandbox. I think I made like a desperate plea for people to get into Sandbox at about 50 cents. But I've been covering Sandbox for a long time. They're about to have their alpha. So lots of excitement on Sandbox. They have the first, sort of playable metaverse that's going to be of quality here. And I think it's something that you should really, really be excited for. Sandbox should be on your radar. As you can see, this is a quite bull flaggy. This isn't dumpy. This is flaggy territory. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing bolt up to $10 over the next, I don't know, several weeks to a month. And finally, gaming, right? If you're not trolling this tab of CoinGecko, like religiously trolling, going down this tab, looking at every single, especially down as you get down to these lower ones, looking at every single project, looking at every single potential gaming new project. Obviously, a lot of the highest quality stuff is coming through private pitch decks and private offerings to people like me, to people like Becker. We obviously are going to be bringing a lot of that stuff to the SuperFarm and Neo Tokyo communities, just like you've seen with High Rise. That is, just a symbol of the type of quality, like with Monkey Ball, projects like this. Another project coming soon called the Syndicate. These are all projects that represent a new era of gaming, right? And I'm talking about a new era. When I say a new era, I'm not talking about Crabada. I think Crabada is kind of like the current era of gaming. And I think that it's going to be really successful. But the reality is that this is an even new era, right? So if you guys want to just do yourself one favor in life, it would be to master the art of crypto gaming investing. Master it, because this is so early. It's just disgusting. It's literally, we might as well be carving like cave paintings with rocks. That's how early we are. And I believe that. So look at why Avax has been performing the way it is. Check out what it has coming up, right? Look at these charts, little hints. Understand why Merit Circle did so well. Understand what is going on here with Merit Circle. these things will help you get ahead. And obviously Vulcan Forged, cooling off a little bit, but all I can say is I've been trying to lead you guys to the promised land. I'm not going to spell everything out for you guys, because if I did that, it would take away a lot of the fun here, which is you guys actually getting into these things before I cover them. I don't want to condition everyone to just sort of wait for my content. Looks like we're getting a little bit of a dump here on the short time frame. Again, I'm pretty unfazed by this. I'm very, very confident that there is more bullishness in the market. The more that this goes on, the longer that this cycle extends, because as we start to make more and more all-time highs over the next few days, it's going to confirm a lengthened cycle. The longer the cycle, the higher the price targets, the better for everyone. Going long and slow is super healthy for this economy, for this industry. It'll allow for all of your favorite low cap and mid cap coins to have parabolic moves, for the liquidity to grow and spread and sort of fill in all the crevices. And it can allow for tech to ship, right? But make no mistake, once Bitcoin does one of these and completely capitulates down again, I'm expecting the market to look for NFTs and gaming to truly take over. So that is the biggest strategy, is to enjoy all of these growth moments, but understand that once things start really, the rubber starts hitting the road, I believe that in winter, the crypto winter, not the real winter, we see once again a focus on gaming and NFTs. It's why I started building games in 2018, was because of the bear market, and everything I've worked for the last 4 years is just being locked in and confirmed here. Okay, I'm about to jump into some comments here. Let's go ahead. Feel free, drop. I'm just going to go ahead and close all these tabs because it's just too much. But go ahead and drop all your comments. Let's go ahead. I'll see if I can hop into the live chat. How can I apply to work with you? There's an email on my YouTube. Go ahead, send me an email. I'll have my team try to check it. Wow, someone just tipped an ungodly amount and said nothing. Thank you, Sebastian. You rock. You rock. Okay. Okay. There's been a lot of people shilling one DeFi project. I'll have to definitely check it out. Banksy Rule says you can add me to the long list of people whose lives you've changed. Very, very grateful. Thank you, Banksy. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. All right. All right. There's so many comments coming in. Gala. Yeah, Gala's amazing. We've been calling out Gala for a few weeks now. It just wasn't on today's list. It's been absolutely beasting. Head always blown. Amazing. Okay. People are jumping into stuff. People are throwing out words I never heard of. Y'all are using new language. RNDR. Yep. Just why am I so cute? Thank you. Blushing. All right. Let's see if I can find a good comment to dive into. Only corporations like Meta have enough money to actually build a true metaverse. All coins claiming to build a metaverse will fade out, lacking development funding. Do you agree? BNC Capital. I think this is a great thing to discuss. Hopefully I can grab that comment here. I saw it on YouTube. I don't know if I can see it here on my streaming software. Hopefully I can grab it. Anyway, so let's actually answer that, because what we're seeing is essentially the belief that you shouldn't even try because we can't get enough money to compete with FB. Let's go ahead and test that theory. Let's test that out. Where's AXS? So AXS right now currently has a fully diluted valuation of $35 billion. This is like a tap mobile game. This is nothing, right, compared to gaming. But the amount of size they've been able to generate with 1 million players in a play-to-earn model and a tokenized model is that they've been able to achieve an economy of scale. $40 billion is an economy of scale, absolutely. So to believe that with $40 billion and something like up to $100 or $200 million in trading volume on their decks every day, they've been able to generate tens of millions, maybe upwards of $100 million plus for their treasury for their ecosystem. So now Axie Infinity is sitting on a 9-figure treasury to go and build games, to build tech. Now, is this enough to build an immersive metaverse? The answer is no. So that's what we get back to, which is Axie Infinity was started by a small, excited community. And that's what's going to happen here over the next few months. like when I roll out the Imposters game that's built on top of the SuperFarm protocol. Well, what we're going to be doing there is we're going to be building a small tribe of several thousand people that believe and understand that by galvanizing this ecosystem, we can create an economy of scale. And that economy of scale can create dividends that were probably unthinkable just a few years ago, but now we know for sure that we can get to a scale of tens of billions of dollars, potentially hundreds of billions of dollars soon after, with treasuries of billions of dollars. And I believe that's highly achievable, that within the next 12 months, if done properly, that's something that can be achieved with a game that's going to be coming out just on SuperFarm, let alone on all these other chains, right? So if it ends up being the case that there is, something like $1 billion laying around earmarked for development, well, I do believe that with that much capital, with that much community engagement, with that much belief fundamentally in the premise that an open, decentralized ecosystem is a public good and needs to be fought for, then yes, I do believe that the little guy, that David here, can beat Goliath, that the good can beat the evil, and that we as a community can end up creating an impact on the level that should take billions and billions of people and users like Facebook has, but we can create that right now, right here with far less people. Because the reality is that with a small hyper engaged network, you can create orders of magnitude ripple effects that exponentially multiply. And I'm going to prove it to you by showing you the story of Axie Infinity, which was essentially back here was a non-existent, pretty much a non-existent financial product here that had made maybe a couple of $1 million. And that as soon as it just caught on in the Philippines, which now you have a whole bunch of users that are educated and ready to play the next play to earn model. Well, you get this, right? And you get these orders, and it looks like it wants to go much higher, right? And so the reality is that absolutely wrong. And I'm here to create the Rebel Alliance. I'm here to build the counter argument and the free public infrastructure and help create that is here to completely counter the evil and corrupt, centralized plot to take over the metaverse. I believe that this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life, and the technology is all geared at completely countering what's going on with the Facebook turned Meta's fake friends of the metaverse. This is absolutely a power monger move by Mark Zuckerberg. It's a power monger move by Facebook, and it's absolutely one that we should fight against with our whole heart and our whole soul. But what's required to do that is open, decentralized systems, world-class products that are controlled by token holders and completely benefit only token holders, as well as a vision for what's coming next on a product standpoint. I believe that, first of all, that's what I've been obsessed with for the last 4 years, that I share that with Becker, and everything we're doing with Neo Tokyo and SuperFarm fits that mold. These are the very rigorous standards that we apply to the things that we care about. And I believe that the movements we're creating here, even though there's only 6,000 people in the chat, that we together, united, that there is something we can create that expands dramatically and has a human impact on the level of a Facebook. I actually know for a fact that that's the case, because look at what's happened with Ethereum, with Bitcoin, with all of these networks that started at one point with a small, highly engaged, highly talented, and powerful group of core users. And that's why I take so much pride in bringing opportunities like Axie Infinity, like UFO, like Spell, like I can't name Phantom at 3. I can't name all the coins that I've pushed my audience to that have made them incredible gains, outsized gains. And the point of that, the reason why I'm trying so desperately to push this community into a place of power, is because the time for us to grab the memes of control, the memes of production, is fast arriving. It's fast arriving. And if we do this together correctly, we will be able to make the counter argument to Facebook, to Meta, to the would-be your friend Meta, which is not your friend. It is a very, very big enemy, and we will fight it together. And I believe we can. All right. It is, we've been at this now for 45 minutes. Going to take a couple more questions. Sorry for the rant. Sandbox. Gala, yeah. Preacher Man. Not enough likers. I agree with this. Not enough likers. We only have 4K likers. We literally have 6K in here. I mean, we've probably had 30K people through here in the time we've been streaming and only 4K likers. So I know there's a lot of you lurkers, not likers. Sad. Sad. Am I in osmosis? I am a bit in osmosis. I'm mostly just staking AKT. Try out Rubik. Okay, I'll definitely check it out. Thoughts on Chain Guardians? I haven't checked in with them in a while. I checked in with them a while back. It's dumping. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Yep. You believe Rev will take over the car racing market? Hey, look, Rev is an Animoca family project and a baby of Yatsu, who's a buddy of mine. And I really desperately want them to succeed. I mean, I really, really believe Animoca just doesn't miss. Okay. You know, if you guys tag and you super chat something I don't know about, I'm not going to read it just because I don't want to take the risk. Do I think companies like Nintendo will get involved in the metaverse? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Without a doubt. Of course they will. Of course they will. They're just going to be slow. They're going to wait for it to prove out. Anyway, I hope you guys are having an absolutely fantastic day. People shouting out SuperFarm. Shout out back to you guys. I should be a politician. Nope. I like my job. I'm my own boss. I don't like answering to a bunch of, no offense, whatever you might call the people who cause a fuss about politics. Seems like a terrible job to me. I've worked really hard to own and control my day all the time. The only people that I answer to are the people, are you guys, my audience, the people who I believe are the only people who matter, who I do this work for. So I think that, you know, I'd much prefer founder to politician, and I think everyone else would. But I really appreciate all the support, guys. This next few months are going to be crazy, right? There's a huge chance of a nuke, right? So you always got to keep in mind, what are the odds that we're going to nuke now, right? That's a possibility. Now, I personally feel like we have a few X's left in the tank before we see a big nuke. And I'm also not convinced that that's the final end of the bull run. Again, these are big open questions. I'm going to be bringing on some experts like Benjamin Cowan to talk about the lengthening cycles this week, as well as just generally I'm going to be working to bring you guys the best opportunities in the entire industry, whether those are new emerging games, whether those are new blockchains that I think have a huge opportunity like we saw with Rose. It's not going to stop here. So make sure if you guys want to have the best information that you're subscribed with that bell notification on. And of course, you should be getting ready, because the reality is we're about to enter into a new era here where open independent developers have as much power as the big centralized corporations. And they hate that, right? So this is, as much as we thought free and open money was going to be a war against governments, free and open metaverse, free and open gaming is going to be a war against the centralized data collectors of Facebook, of gaming companies. You just wait. This is about to be a huge global scale war here, where if we win as an open decentralized community, the people who are part of this will be some of the most important and powerful people in the world. And I want that for you all. I want that for each one of you. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Make sure you follow me on Twitter @LEO Trades. And make sure you're subscribed. It's going to be good for your health. And I'll see you very soon on the next episode.